Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well. So, I am going to be setting up my February pages today in my 2025 journal. I will be using a Derwent Inktense watercolor pencil in fuchsia. I also have two markers. One is a mild liner and a Crayola super tip. And then I have two Pigma Microns, one in 005 and one in 02. So I like to have a full 7 days on each of my weekly spreads. So since February starts on a Saturday, it will go on the same spread as the last week of January. I've already done a little bit of sketching in. So I'm using my watercolor pencil to sketch in 4 boxes on each page of the spread, 4 going down the column on the left of each page. So I'm going to have half of the page for planning, and the other half of my page is going to be the flex space that I like to have. So my flex space is going to be for any new weekly habit trackers I want to add, memory keeping, journaling, anything like that. Each of my boxes is 8 spaces tall and 12 dot grid spaces wide, and I did leave 1 dot grid space along the top to put in a heart and my headers in script. So 8 boxes, 7 days of the week, and then the last box will be the notes page or the notes box. And then along the top, I left 2 dot grid spaces to put in my February header and more hearts. My idea is to keep each line continuous for each box and each header. So here I'm drawing the Thursday box. So the heart, the script that says Thursday, and the box are all connected in one single line. And the same with the February header and hearts along the top. It's all one single line. My watercolor pencil lines are fairly sketchy and light. I don't want to press too hard with my watercolor pencil because you don't want to make dents in the paper that makes it harder to blend out the watercolor. And then I noticed as I was going along that I made a mistake. I put Friday where Wednesday should go, so I'm using my color pencil eraser to erase it and fixing it. It should be Wednesday. Luckily, that was an easy fix with my Prismacolor color pencil eraser. Now I'm using the Crayola Super Tip in a pale pink color to just trace over the watercolor pencil that I sketched in. I'm going to be alternating between this marker and the pale pink brush tip mild liner. The moisture from the marker will blend out the watercolor pencil sketch, and it makes the two colors kind of coordinate a little bit better. Also, it's a little bit hard to see on camera, but the watercolor pencil underneath gives the marker line a little bit of a gradient in color, and I thought that was a nice effect. I think it's a little bit easier to see with this lighter color mild liner. So once I've traced over the pencil with my 2 pink markers, I'm going over the monthly header with the 02 micron in black. And then I'm going over my smaller boxes with the 005 micron. So I'm doing a solid line around the heart and the words, and then around the rest of the box I'm doing kind of a broken dotted and dashed lines. I felt that made it look a little softer. So that completes our first day of February. Now I will move on and do the rest of the weekly spreads the same way. So I don't make a monthly calendar because I don't generally use that. And these small daily boxes are generally enough for my plans and task lists for the day. If it isn't, I do have my notes box that I can use and also the flex space. So if I have a particular busy week or day, that space can be used for planning as well. These February spreads are fairly simple, just some pencil and markers, and the pencil is optional. I don't know about you, but I felt like January was a pretty rough month. I don't think 2025 has started out that great so far. So I was really behind in setting up my February pages. So I just wanted to do something very quick and very easy. This video is definitely coming out a lot later than I expected it to. Anyway, each of my February weekly spreads are going to be set up the same way. So I will try to speed through the rest of this weekly setup for you. After finishing up all of my February spreads, I am going in with my O2 Pigma Micron and putting the date numbers inside each heart. So with the weekly pages finished, I'm going to flip to the front of the notebook where I have set aside 2 spreads for each month as my health tracker. I'm cutting a Dutch door in the middle page of my 2 spreads so I can do my February health tracker header along one edge and the days of the week along the other side. So I only have to do those once and it can be seen from either spread. I generally don't do a lot of decoration on my health tracker pages. Those are very functional pages for me, but I do like the header and the colors to match my weekly spreads for the month. So again, I'm going to start with my watercolor pencil and sketch in my header and a couple of hearts. I started with the center letter in the middle and worked out to each side so that I could make sure my header was generally pretty centered. And then I'm going to go over it again with the pink marker and then trace with the O2 Pigma Micron. With the header done, I'm going to switch over to the left edge of the first page and I'm going to do the numbers and the first letter of each day of February. I'm starting with my watercolor pencil to make a line dividing the days of the week from the data I'll be collecting throughout the month. Then again, I'll trace with my marker and my micron. I'm starting here with the second page of my health tracker spread. The first line on the left will be where I track my exercise and activity. The second line in the middle is where I list the medications I take, and the long line on the right-hand page is a notes section. I have some chronic health issues, so these health tracker pages are important to me. If you're interested in more detail on how I use my health tracker pages, I do have a separate video about that you can check out. So I've flipped forward to the first 2 pages of this spread, and I'm going to be making brackets along the top of the page. So each bracket is 2 spaces wide, and then the tail is going to come diagonally out to the right 3 dots up along the top. Those brackets are where I will write in the things that I'm tracking. So for example, I track my sleep quality, I track what time I take my medications, my level of pain, whether or not I'm doing my PT exercises, things like that. I'm starting again with my watercolor pencil, and this month I'm using a ruler to do my diagonal lines, because last month I tried to do it freehand and they came out very, very wonky. Then I'm going to go ahead and trace over with my pink mild liner. I also like to draw a line between Saturday and Sunday so I can have a visual separation between each week. And with that finished, the health tracker spread is done and we can start our flip through. So this is all set up and ready to get filled out. First day of February, and then all of the following weeks of February. So this February setup was extremely simple and easy and quick, but sometimes that's exactly what we need. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.